Hello, thank you very much for inviting the Regional Commission's New York office, where I currently serve as officer in charge, to participate in this important discussion. As you all probably know, we are right now in the middle of the Regional Forums for Sustainable Development season that take place across the 5 regions between March and April every year. The regional forums are the primary platform for the follow-up and review of the 2030 agenda in the regions, where member states, stakeholders, UN system, private sector, and many others gather to take stock on progress, learn from each other, and identify policy accelerators for the future. The Arab and the Africa Forum already took place, and the Asia Pacific one will take place next week, and shortly after the forum in UNECE and in Latin America and the Caribbean. So my comments today are informed by these forums and by the work that is ongoing on their preparation. As regards the status of SDG 9 implementation in the regions, let me start with the Africa region. We are seeing that the infrastructure financing gap is widening. The annual cost to achieve basic infrastructure needs in Africa rests between $137 billion and $177 billion, and the financing gap stands at between $59 billion and $96 billion. Decline in infrastructure commitments is observed, and mobilizing domestic and external financial resources remains a serious challenge. As regards universal access to ICTs, progress has been made, but Africa remains the least connected region. Similarly, on upgrading of industrial technologies, we are seeing that Africa lags behind Asia and Latin America in terms of technological advancement. The share of firms in Africa not using digital technology, which is a proxy for the extent of the digital gap, is higher than that of those in other regions. I now move to the Arab region. In the Arab region, we are seeing that there are 2 SDG 9 indicators that are on track and will be met by 2030. These relate to the population covered by a mobile network and the CO2 emissions per unit of manufacturing value added. We are seeing also encouraging progress in the access to financial services for small-scale industrial enterprises and government expenditure on research and development and the expansion of the manufacturing sector overall. Access to at least a 3G mobile network has been visibly increasing in the region, except for the LDC countries. And overall, despite improvements since 2015, the region's manufacturing sector remains less productive, generates fewer jobs, and is more polluting than the world's averages. Therefore, the region needs to improve policies related to researches and to increase research and development investment, added value in manufacturing, and in medium high-tech industries. Moving now to the Asia Pacific region, where the SDG 9 profile has just been published, as you may know, in time for the forum next week, let me share the following observations. Progress along the SDG 9 targets has been generally insufficient in this region. Only 2 targets have advanced and are on track to be achieved by 2030. And these relate to the total flows for infrastructure in the LDCs and also to the population covered by a mobile network, where many countries have over 90% of the population already covered by a 4G network. In terms of the manufacturing value added, we have seen an increase by 7.2% in the region in 2021, with the middle-income countries leading the recovery. However, no progress on employment in the manufacturing sector. As regards research and development expenditure as a share of GDP, we see most countries that still devote less than 1% of the GDP to research. Further, we are also seeing a slow progress in the transition from fossil fuels to renewable sources by the manufacturing sector. As a result, the target on the CO2 emissions is also far from where it should be. Let me now move to the Latin America and the Caribbean region. In this region, the work on the SDG 9, the profile has not been released yet. We are preparing for the upcoming regional forum. But allow me to share some general observations, in particular as regards the digital agenda. As you probably know, today more than ever, Latin America and the Caribbean needs an economic transformation. There is a poorly diversified production structure, low productivity, and high levels of informality, and these are weakening the dynamics of growth and job creation. Harnessing technological change is therefore key to boosting productive development in the region. There is also a mixed panorama in terms of access to internet and the digital divide in the region, with a persistent divide of more than 50 percentage points between the highest and the lowest income households. The progress that has been made in science, technology, and innovation has still failed to translate into substantial improvements in productivity and personal income. The value of the digital industry grew significantly by 40% between 2010 and 2022, thanks to a strong growth in e-commerce platforms and internet services. Despite this growth that we are seeing, the establishment of sector strategies in areas such as e-commerce, health, and manufacturing and agriculture is still very incipient in the region. Let me now move to the region, the UNECE region, and share some general observations, as well as they are preparing also to host the regional forum at the beginning of April. In the regional forum, the conversation there will very much revolve around the green transition and the decarbonization agenda. And the following issues that are pertinent to SDG 9 will be discussed. The challenges in trying to achieve more resilient and greener transport and industry sectors through targeted mitigation and adaptation efforts. We are also seeing that the decarbonization of infrastructure that has progressed over the past decade, but has still a long way to go to reach the goal of the Paris Agreement. In the transport sector in the UNECE region, there is also the rising demand for motorized mobility, but still not enough improvements in fuel efficiency, modal share, and electrification of the vehicle fleet. Further, questions of quality, governance, and transparency aspects of infrastructure, as well as the gender and social dimension, are very relevant in this region. Overall, the regional forum will look at how the innovation agenda can help transform entire systems, such as the built environment, energy generation and distribution, industry, or transport. Having looked at the 5 regions, the status across the 5 regions, let me just say a few words on the long-term trends of what the regional commissions are doing to support countries. Taking advantage of the opportunities offered by technology and innovations, the regional commissions are promoting digital transformation and supporting countries with solutions to accelerate the achievement of the SDGs, helping countries engage in the digital economy, boost their economic competitiveness and well-being, and with a notable impact that we are seeing already in financial inclusion, poverty reduction, and improved health. Examples of regional commissions initiatives include ESCWA support to over 400 Arab SMEs to digitize their businesses, scale up and access regional and international markets, and launching 2 centers of entrepreneurship in Morocco and Saudi Arabia. We have numerous examples like this across regions, and interesting ones such as the ECA's promoted Girls Coding Camp, and for example, the ECLAS Digital Basket. Overall, all these instruments and tools of support of the regional commissions are also complemented and boosted with our work in support of the regional integration agendas, including in the areas of regional economic integration, trade facilitation, public procurement, foreign investment, and electronic commerce, with all in all are very important to contribute to the achievement of the SDGs and boost and accelerate also the progress in the achievement of SDG 9 in particular. The establishment of regional digital agendas is also a key component of this approach. So let me conclude here our observations. On behalf of the regional commissions, we hope you have found this overview useful in your discussion. We invite you to really check in detail the conclusions of the Africa and the Arab regional forums, and to connect to the Asia Pacific, UNECE, and Latin America and the Caribbean regional forums that are taking place in the coming weeks. Again, thank you very much for your attention, and wishing you a very useful and productive discussion. Thank you.